let me ask you, Reason. I said, Reason's been out for a while. A lot of people use it. Do you know of or have heard of any commercially released tracks that have used Reason, or
Hell
any
yeah.
big name producers that use it?
DJ Toomp uses it. What you know about that? The Ti track was a Reason track, and there's a
Okay.
couple other he named specifically that I can't pull off the top of my head, but I'm sure you're familiar with DJ Khalil.
Yeah.
That's all he uses. I take that back. He that's what he uses as his like sequencer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he uses a lot of live samples too. But he did the Clips and Kanye track, something like a big deal. He did the
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z from Kingdom Come, Mama I Made It. He did a couple of those T.I. reference tracks for Dr. Dre. He did I'm trying to think, that song with Eminem and Pink. Matter of fact, he did Fear for Drake. He did the Chinatown Beat Wars uh, soundtrack, which is the Grand Theft Auto for iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of some other joints that he did. He did one for on one of the game's albums, and like you can tell when he's using just stuff in the box and when he's using like real samples. But
Mm-hmm.
even his stuff that he just uses straight Reason sounds is is excellent. But a lot of it is because he sits down like the way people will sit down and like layer drums or make their own drum kits. He sits down at Reason and makes his own sounds. And like he's one of my biggest inspirations, partly because we use the same stuff. But like I was a fan of his before I realized that he was using Reason. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And then like that really just expanded my mind as to what was really possible because like you say, you don't really like Reason because the sounds are hella dry and they don't have any body to them and stuff like that. But it's almost like when you get that watercolor set, that every kid gets in third grade. When you get the little round circle of
Yeah.
of like six different colors or 12 different colors, whatever. It's like, all right, this is some bullshit. But if you really sit down, there's some like really incredible watercolor paintings that you can, that are hanging in an art gallery. So it's really just a matter
Mm-hmm.
of what you do with what they give you. So they don't really like Reason. Yeah, I feel like Reason is not programmed to use if you're not very motivated, because you'll be excited for a while, but you will get tired of the sounds in there very fast. And that's something I can attest to. But at the same time, if you really have your creative juices flowing, then you can load up like a combinator or like you said with the signal flow. Once you get an understanding of the signal flow, you can do some really amazing things. Like one time I had this drum kit. I forget what I did. It was really by accident. I was moving some cables around in the back, and then I put like the right channel of like a hi-hat into a delay by accident, and the delay was pitched out to the left. So like the loop would be going, but then every time this one hi-hat hit, it would um it would strike in the right ear, but then the delay would make it fade out of the left ear. You know what I mean? It's
Crazy.
Yeah, basically stuff like that. And that's stuff you can do on purpose, if you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely have to use Reason some more.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get down and really get into it because really, the most when I go into Reason, I've got a good, I would say, 10 sounds that are like go-to sounds for me that I know. Yeah, I'm about to throw this sound in here because I rewire Reason into Logic and use most of my sounds out of Logic. And then if I'm looking for something really crazy left field, yeah, I know Reason will have that. And then also another thing is doing Reason when I found out that you can rewire. Because first I used to have the mixer, that was the 14-2 mixer or something like
Yeah.
that, set up. But then one of my teachers showed me that if I take that mixer out, I can route
Direct.
each
Yeah,
instrument
directly
into
into
the
the into the
yeah, right into the audio device. and then I could actually have control over my sounds in Logic as far as levels and everything. And like I went crazy when I figured that
Yeah,
out.
that's the only way to track out stems properly. Like otherwise, what I usually do is I'll just mute um stuff in the off the mixer, or I'll solo stuff off the mixer and just export each one individually. Because if I do work with someone who I feel like it's worth the time to actually track everything out, then I have like a kick drum track, like a snare track. Like let's say if my snare is layered with like a snare, a clap, and something else, then each one of those will have its own track or whatever. Because, like I said, once you get stuff into Pro Tools, the sound quality goes up like a whole nother notch, and so it kind of it steps up to the next level, and so you can't really keep the same mix that you had all the time. So
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
adjust it and stuff. So
All right. Well, I've been talking about Reason 5 coming soon, Record 1.5 coming soon. I'm going to wrap this up with the exec here. And I'll finish doing I'm going to give y'all my D-Box review. But yeah, let's see if you want to get exec. Go tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
they can hit me up at exec@soundexecution.com. I got beats for sale. I'll give some free advice every now and again. But yeah, hit me up anytime.
All right. Yeah, we can definitely have to, yeah, get you back on the podcast again.
I'm with it.
But yeah. All right. And we thank you for taking your time with us.
Thanks for having me, dude.
All right, no problem.
Peace.
All right, yeah, that was my man exec. Go ahead and get right into this D box review. If I had to sum up the D box in one word, amazing. Uh, as I've talked about it before, D box is a 8 channel analog summer and a monitor section, which both I felt I needed for my studio. And SD box is great. I think it's 1400. I think, but it's well worth it for a 8 channel summing mixer and monitor section. The D to A conversion is great. Um, I've compared this thing to some of my SSL mixes, and it sounds good. It sounds up there with it. Some of my mixes I've done on the D box so far, I have to say that I like better than my SSL mixes, which I never thought that would happen. SSL is just the greatest thing to mix on to me. But yeah, pretty much everything about this D-Box I love. It can use a dim switch. I wish it had a dim switch, and I wish I could hit a way that I can just mute the monitors and still listen to my headphone mix. Those are just minor complaints I have, but yeah, everything else on here is great. Yeah, I'd strongly suggest you check it out if you're looking for a 8 channel summing box and a monitor section. The D box is very user friendly. Everything is straightforward. You can hook it up and be running in seconds. But yeah, out of 1 to 5, I got to give it a. I really think they could have did a dim switch. I'm gonna say a 4.5. But hey, if you round that up, it's a perfect 5. I take that back. I'm gonna give it a perfect 5. Reason being is for the support. I've had a few questions about the D box as I've been researching it before I purchased it, and every time I emailed Dangerous, they would hit me right back. They were very helpful. Um, so yeah, but that support like that, I'd have to bump that up to a 5. So there you go, perfect score for the Dangerous D box. You can check them out at www.dangerousmusic.com. I also want to talk about the Black Lion. They just released a new EQ. It's a stereo channel EQ. And if you're not familiar with Black Lion, they mod 002s and I think some Motu interfaces to sound like Pro Tools HD. Some people say it sounds better than Pro Tools HD. Really excited about this. This is a Black Lion AM uh, CHA1 EQ is the official name for it. It's a pretty sexy looking EQ too. Kind of reminds me of Iron Man when I look at it. It's got these gold knobs with gray plating and a red outline. Yeah, I read on a forum that someone said that those knobs are going to be hard to recall, and I'd have to agree with them. Looking at it, I don't really see where it's marked on the knob where your setting is, but that just may be because I can't really blow the picture up like I wanted to. But yeah, I'm definitely in the market for a hardware stereo EQ. I am. I have to put this one in my considerations. This one, and I'm looking at the TL Audio 5013, which is also a stereo EQ. But this Black Lion one is just interesting because I mean, if you know Black Lion, they make high quality sounding gear that's affordable. So I'm definitely have to think hard between this and the 5013, and it goes if you can't decide between one. Sometimes you got to get both. But I'm definitely gonna be checking out this Black Lion EQ. And I'm also moving on. I will be at the Summer NAMM show this year in Nashville on June 20th. So next show I'm going to be talking about that. And then the weekend after that, I will be in heaven at Sweetwater's Gear Expo 2010. I can't wait for that. Very excited for that. It's going to be almost like a vacation for me. But yeah, I'm gonna hit the road up to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and basically look at new gear for 2 days. So they got workshops and everything. You can check that out on their site at sweetwater.com. I mean, they've been advertising it everywhere. So that's definitely coming on the next show. I may, if I get around to using these Duende Mini plugins a little bit more, we can get into that, and I can tell you what I think about those. Also, I want to talk a little bit about my Joe Meek dual studio channel here. Really put it to work the first time last week. I tracked some bass for a gospel project I'm working on, and it came out amazing. The bass was good and smooth. Um, I didn't use any of the dynamics processing on it. I just tracked the bass straight in, so I didn't use any of the EQ or the compression here on it. I'm really trying to figure out how I'm going to use the compressor on here because I really got this channel strip for another studio I work in. They don't have any compressors, and I really wanted to bring this to use a compressor so I can compress my vocals a little bit coming in. But this the compressor is really aggressive. I haven't tweaked it enough to find a gentle compressor setting for it on here. Um, but it's as far as the tracking bass, it's good. Best I've used to track bass so far. Um, I've got access to a LA2A at the school studio, and it's good for tracking bass, but it's never gave me any results like I got out of this Joe Meek Twin Q. Hopefully, I can get to use it on vocals real soon to see how that sounds. But I mean, in the studio, we've got API pre's that I really like. Is really my go-to pre's. I got a couple of Ventec, but yeah, I'm gonna have to sneak the Joe Meek in and use it on a few things and see how it sounds. Cause I've really been looking at a Day King mic pre. They got a mic pre comes with the EQ. I've been looking at, so I'm thinking about getting that as another mic pre. If you remember on the last episode, I said I was gonna get a Day King FET3 as my bus compressor. Um, Things have changed. I'm now looking at a company called Chameleon Labs, 7720. It's a stereo bus compressor with a high pass filter. Total price $629. And if you get it from Zen Pro Audio, you can get the free aluminum knobs upgrade for free, which are normally like $39. Uh, Definitely gonna pick this up. I can get a bus compressor for $629 a lot quicker than I can get one for 2000. Everything I've read on the 7720 has been great. Everything I've read about Chameleon Labs have been great. So I'm really excited about this bus compressor, and hopefully it'll happen in about a month or so.